All right. Hello, everybody. Let's see what I can get done within the 15 to 20 minute time frame. Um, Doing this today because tomorrow I gotta be somewhere, and Thursday I'm going to do another video series that I've been working on with World War III secret societies, but this time I'm going to be going into Saturn worship and uh, the micronova. Um, Hoping to do at least maybe two more on that. Maybe one day for Saturn and the other day for uh, uh, whatchamacallit, the micronova. Because I got some very good information on the micronova. Alright, so let's go back to the dissertation. We got strategic conflict management theory. This is part of the conceptual framework up above here, right here. And don't forget that last time I did conflict resolution theory. So, okay, so I'm probably just going to point things out. Okay, but I'll give you like enough time if you want to read it. Strategic conflict management theory involves ADR systems, which is alternative dispute resolution, peer mediation, arbitration, and restorative practices. Strategic conflict management theory is an organization's strategic goals and objectives and its ability to achieve those goals through organizational justice. The the germination of this theory um, um, was a reaction basically to several problems occurring in the legal system and organizations simultaneously. The federal government passed legislation in the 60s and the 70s that led to an increase in litigation in the 70s and 80s. The new the new laws cause employers to rethink their conflict resolution strategies. In the 90s, employers added ADR systems to avoid litigation, unionization, and market competition. Um, Other factors that influenced this change from punitive punishment to alternative dispute resolution were an increase in consciousness, in management and leadership, human resource policies, and conflict within organizations' punitive punishment systems. Like I noted above, with the whole thing with Frito-Lay and um, those individuals um, ended up rebelling against Frito-Lay by writing obscene messages on potato chips, I believe in the 1970s is when it occurred. Um, so strategic conflict management theory evolved and continues to evolve to support ADR systems like restorative justice. Um, the theory began as a system to reduce expenditures on litigation and raise the consciousness levels of employees in an organization. Um, the perception of inclusion and realization in an organization provides a unitarian perspective to solve conflict in the organization, to advance consciousness and exterminate the need for external costly resolutions. Now, here in a second, I mean, it probably won't be in this video, but do stick with me because I'm going to surprise you about the level of how much money is actually spent on punitive punishment, which in organizations. And this figure comes from 2014, I believe. So that is probably definitely increased. So this is the relationship to the study Sophisticated management comprehends how to utilize conflict to capitalize on constructive aspects. In the strategic conflict management theory, sophisticated managers and leaders can implement strategies to reduce employee turnover, reduce litigation, save money, promote positivity, and unite employees and management. Strategic conflict management systems are a proactive solution to prepare and foresee issues, reduce conflict, and create a positive work environment. Strategic conflict management approach transforms conflict into settlements or cooperation within the organization. Strategic conflict management theory emphasizes flexible, long-term strategy to solve organizational issues. The age of the internet and the upcoming shift in paradigm to the quantum era motivate organizations to adopt new philosophies to survive. Organizations need to comprehend that reality is more chaotic than equilibrium. Strategies, therefore, will need to be planned and unplanned to leave room for adaptation and change. The universal model of leadership theory. This is where, at least in my perspective, things get very interesting. So, the universal model of leadership theory was founded by Anderson and Adams. And they came through this theory, they were inspired by a monk informing them that human beings can grow through stages of consciousness. Anderson and Adams utilized superb theories in leadership, organization development, psychology, success literature, human potential, and spiritual wisdom to create the universal model of leadership theory. A very interesting book called Mastering Leadership by these two individuals. Fantastic read. I highly suggest everybody read that, especially if you're looking to see what an actual, true leader is. Organizations that adopt a universal model of leadership theory possess the ability to align leadership with the appropriate method for change and conflict resolution. The stages of consciousness in the universal model of leadership theory are egocentric, reactive, creative, integral, and unitive. About 5% of the population possess an egotistical mind. Humanity mostly resides with a reactive mind, which is 75%. Okay? About 20% of the population, actually, no. Yeah, about 20% of the population possess a higher mind. Creative is 15. Integral mind is about 5%. So the creative mind is about 15%, and people with an integral mind are 5%. And those figures are very low. Unitive minds are extremely rare. In other words, within this subset, I know this is like 100%, but there are a few individuals that have a unitive mind, but we're probably talking about less than 1% of the population here. The universal model of leadership relates the theory of individuation and the Rosarian philosophical form. The theory of individuation and the Rosarian pictures begin with humanity being egocentric and ended with a change or unification to a creator. 75% of humanity resides in the lower portion of the mind, and leadership should aim at raising humanity's level of consciousness and grasping the alchemical philosopher's stone. Relation to the study. The universal model of leadership provided evidence of a relationship between consciousness and leadership, and the effects that the relationship has on an individual and organization. The negative expressions of leadership occurred in the egocentric and reactive stages, and that's like 80% of the population. The creative stage provided a mixture of positive, negative expressions, while the integral stage takes a leap to become more positive than negative. Unitive is the most expressive of positive consciousness, embracing the power of care and love. The division in restorative justice practices occurred because of different levels of consciousness. Restorative justice has not eliminated the overall effects of punitive punishment. E.g., some restorative justice practitioners included guilt and shame in the process, something I will inform people later about. Clute created unitive justice to aspire to coalesce individuals together instead of the continual cyclical path of negativity and division. The historical and conceptual framework suggests a possible improvement to restorative justice is to eliminate guilt and shame. This ends up becoming a question in my study. Chapters 1 through 3, remember, are all before the study. Once I get to 4 and 5, now we're talking I'm in the study, or I've done the study. So let's see where we're at time-wise. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the next one. Let's go, okay. The theory of individuation. Carl Jung is the founder of the theory of individuation. Looking through here. Okay. The theory of individuation provided the information necessary to make that leap in consciousness levels through myths, psychology, dreams, life experience, alchemy, and the Rosarium philosophical form. Behavior happens before cognition. Most people live their lives unconsciously in a state of automaticity. The theory of individuation is the process that takes a person living through their unconscious and consciously transforms them. The process of individuation parts an individual away from society on a unique inner journey of becoming a whole or an individual, instead of being content to conform to conventions and beliefs. The later works of Jung focused on the alchemical process, which is a method of turning another metal into gold. After studying the Rosarium philosophical form, Jung learned that the alchemical process of turning another metal into gold related to the psychological process of individuation, and that alchemists aimed to perfect matter, and the psychological process aimed to perfect humans. In the process of Jung's writings, the most important part of completing the process of individuation is to awaken the repressed feminine spirit known as Sophia, or divine Sophia. Sophia is Greek for wisdom. So, relation to the study. The theory of individuation permeated all the theoretical frameworks in the study because the empirical notion of individuation correlated with quantum physics. The theory of individuation is the empirical psychological process through which the unconscious, the divine, becomes conscious in humanity. According to evolutionary biologist Julian Huxley, the brain alone is not responsible for the mind, even though it is a necessary organ for its manifestation. The empirical evidence of quantum physics created a paradigm shift in mental and physical properties, but the mental and material are two equivalent and interdependent aspects of the same reality. The theory of individuation is related to the study of developing and advancing consciousness through understanding the process of conflict. The issue with punitive punishment was that lessons were not understood and incorporated into consciousness, preventing advancement and growth. Punitive punishment does not complete the Rosarium Philosophicorum process to completion, which involves an ego death. Individuals and organizations do not accept responsibility for wrongdoing, then history is bound to repeat itself. And those in conflict did not learn a thing. Restorative justice brings individuals and organizations to the moment of ego death, where positive transformation occurs. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this out. So we might go to 20 minutes because I'm on the last part of this to where I can move more into the dissertation. So the procedural justice theory. Rawls is the founder of the procedural justice theory. Okay, so the main concept of the procedural justice theory is that procedures should be, in other words, these conflict should be dealt with in a fair process to ensure justice. The theory was developed to justify procedures for the state to be fair and provide justice to the citizens. The state will be substituted for the organization since organizations have implemented their justice policies for their employees. Rawls was inspired by Kant instead of Aristotle. Aristotle's vision of justice theorized distributive justice, which relates to virtue and what is good from a human perspective. Kant perceived justice according to what is right and wrong from an institutional or organizational perspective. Kant viewed nation-states as individuals, such as the Supreme Court recognizing corporations as a person. So Rawls believed that organizations should set principles that correlate their standard of justice. Right trumps what is considered good, which is the opposite of what Aristotle perceived. Organizations need to implement structures to provide a method of achieving what is right so that justice will be viewed as a fair process. The procedural and this is relation to the study, the procedural justice theory provides a fair justice process, including the stages of judgment and the outcome. Punitive punishment methods do not provide a fair process in the judgment, or the outcome manifests various negative consequences that waste resources. The evidence of restorative justice provided an overall fair process in the system. A consensus of opinion of a panel of experts should reflect the fair process of procedural justice. Individuals that perceive justice as a fair process, enabling participants a voice in the justice process, are more willing to accept change. Now, punitive punishment does not provide all participants with a voice in the justice process. Punitive punishment results in costly continual division instead of focusing on integrating employees into the whole. Procedural justice, and the whole is the organization. Procedural justice allows participants a voice in the decision-making process, demonstrates neutrality with a decision-making process that is transparent and free from personal bias, respectful outcomes that uphold an individual's unalienable rights, and demonstrates trustworthiness through empathy. Numerous historical events have led to rebellions and wars because leaders failed to adhere to a fair approach to justice. Does this seem familiar today, people? Grote experienced a rebellion at Frito-Lay because management abused the organizational justice process. Procedural justice theory provides a fair process for participants that respect sovereignty and unalienable rights, which in turn allows participants to accept the outcome, and integrate into the whole. And the whole is the organization. So next we'll get into the methodology literature. I don't know how much that's going to go. Basically, it's just going to talk about what a Delphi study is. But there's more stuff. We're almost getting done with chapter 2, and chapter 2 is the longest chapter that I wrote. So everything else will be a lot shorter. So thank you for watching this today. I know what I covered in these 4 conceptual theories is a lot to digest. It was a lot to actually write down in a small kind of like portion in a way too. But I hope that those theories provide you to look into more things and to research, you know, everything and what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and post this now and let everybody go. I know that it's very cold out there today, so I hope everyone a good day and to stay warm and everything like that. Alright, well, y'all have a good one, and I should see you on Thursday. If for some reason anything happens and I'm not here on Thursday, then I will be on Friday. And Friday, I also plan to post another video about Trump and Vivek and Iowa and things of that nature. But you guys have a good one. Peace out. Oh, and think positive, and let's increase the vibration of this world to manifest good things, because we need the negativity to stop. Peace out. Bye.